My goodness. Brianna Turner was on this team for I don't even know if it was 24 hours. Because I can't imagine why you would sign her. I understand she's supposed to be this great defensive player. But is it worth taking a flamethrower to your fan base and your locker room, by the way?
The Indiana Fever thought they were making a big move when they signed Brianna Turner. She was expected to bring strong defense and veteran leadership, helping Caitlin Clark guide the team forward. But within just 24 hours, Turner somehow managed to do the unthinkable. She turned the entire Fever fan base against her. Less than a day after joining, she became public enemy number one.
So the Indiana Fever fans are furious with this signing. Absolutely furious with the fact the Fever have signed someone who appears to be a Caitlin Clark hater in Brianna Turner.
Well, let's just say Turner didn't take long to make an impression, but unfortunately, it wasn't the kind anyone hoped for. Instead of fans celebrating a defensive powerhouse, they were busy digging up old posts and found some harsh remarks aimed at Caitlin Clark, Indiana's star player.
A lot of the tweets and stuff do not look good. Do not look good from Bri Turner.
Old tweets came back to haunt Turner, and just like that, excitement turned into full-blown outrage. Fever fans thought they were getting a solid defensive player to support Caitlin Clark, but instead, they discovered Turner had already taken shots off the court. One tweet in particular stood out. Turner had mocked Iowa's celebration after they finished as NCAA runners-up. That same Iowa team was led by Clark, who had just finished one of the most impressive college basketball seasons ever.
Seriously, if you're going to dog out your fan base that you just came over to, and look, she's got a history of going after the Iowa Hawkeyes, talking shit about Caitlin Clark fans. It's baffling. Seriously.
Turner had tweeted, "Iowa will hold a celebration to honor the NCAA runner-up. All players and coaches expected this respectfully." I'm confused. Is this what a runner-up typically does, respectfully? Fans quickly saw through it. What she called respect came off as pure shade. And in Indiana, you don't take shots at Caitlin Clark, especially if you plan on wearing that Fever jersey without any drama.
She tweeted this: "Iowa will hold a celebration to honor the NCAA runners-up. All players and coaches expected." This is Iowa to hold celebration. Respectfully, I'm confused. Is this what a runner-up typically does now? Haven't seen this before. But kudos to them for publicly honoring all their accomplishments. I'm confused. Is this what a runner-up does? It does if you're Iowa. I'm sorry, it does.
Things took a turn for the worse when fans called Turner out. Instead of apologizing, she basically told them to get lost. Her response? "Feel free to unfollow me or block me if that bothers you." Fans were stunned. This wasn't some old tweet from the past, it was Turner straight up telling the same Fever fans who'd been cheering for Caitlin Clark's arrival and her historic performances to just deal with it.
There are fans out there saying they are being blocked by Brianna Turner. That's a terrible look for this new addition to the team. I mean, seriously. God, it's crazy. Fever fans or CC fans, the Brianna Turner pickup does not make sense. I'm a basketball first fan. CC did bring me to watch the W. As a fan, I want ballers who are going to help win and play together as one. Ask yourself, does Turner really fit in?
The backlash hit hard and fast, like a tidal wave. Social media exploded. Fever fans were so upset, they demanded Turner be cut before she even played a single game. One furious supporter tweeted, "We were excited about defense, now we're defending Clark from our own player." Others joked that Turner was speedrunning the "How to Ruin Your Welcome" challenge.
Let's be real. She tweeted about the whole, do you remember the whole, harassment by the journalist? Or say not by the journalist, by the paparazzi, the TMZ person who tried to ask Kennedy Carter a question. And obviously she went and made a way bigger deal about that than it should have been.
This is bigger than just a few angry tweets, it's about Caitlin Clark. She's not just a player, she's the face of the franchise. She's the reason Indiana is back in the spotlight, why ticket sales are up and why games are getting national attention. And Turner's first move? Taking a cheap shot at the fans who are supporting and defending their star player. Turner's defenders tried to downplay it, saying she was just joking or that fans were overreacting. But let's be real, this is WNBA Twitter. Fans don't forget, and nothing gets deleted. Clark supporters have seen this before, from Angel Reese's taunts to DeJounte Carrington's "I poke," they know when someone's coming for their star.
When Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White and these people came out and basically said at the end of the season, and Kelsey Mitchell and all these people, she was really anti-Fever. I don't think she was necessarily anti-Caitlin Clark with what she said, but she was anti-Fever when everyone was saying, like, do not platform the troll.
Now the big question is, what happens next? Will the Fever step in and smooth things over, telling Turner to dial it back? Or will they let her keep tweeting her way into more trouble? Right now, Turner doesn't look like a defensive upgrade, she looks like a PR nightmare. And Caitlin Clark's fan base? They're not the forgetful type.
She came out on Twitter saying we needed to platform the trolls, and when somebody responded that we need to platform the trolls and call it out, and it's the responsibility of everyone to call out all this, and it's like someone responded was like, that's the worst thing you do. These aren't people, these are literally just internet trolls that are doing it for attention. And then she basically doubled down, was like, no, you're wrong. You need to platform the troll.
Think about it, the WNBA is bigger than ever, and Caitlin Clark has completely reshaped the league. The Fever are finally back in the national spotlight. This is their moment, the fans are energized, the media is paying attention, and the front office is gearing up to build around their generational superstar. Up until now, all the off-season moves made sense, and fans were excited. Then here comes Brianna Turner, stepping onto the scene like she's ready to help, but instead, she starts throwing shade at the very player and fan base that's responsible for all this buzz. It's like she skipped the first rule in the How to Join a New Team handbook, don't insult the franchise star.
It was purely a college wants to celebrate his greatest team in the history of the college. And she comes out and goes like, why are they doing this? Runners-up shouldn't be doing this. No one would say this word if it wasn't for Caitlin Clark. You just know that.
Alright, mistakes happen, right? This is social media, athletes slip up all the time. So, what does Turner do next? Apologize? Show some humility? Try to win back the fans? Nope, not even close. Instead, she doubles down with a tweet so defiant, it left everyone stunned. Let me read it to you. I will not bend the knee or change my online advocacy efforts to appease others while I anticipate receiving criticism, hostility, and invalidation.
And when I see this kind of post talking directly about culture and locker room, are you trying to put out a fire? Seriously? Because that kind of seems like a little bit of damage control is now going on. First press conference. How's the locker room holding up? Would that even have been asked before that signing?
Can you believe she actually said that? Basically, she told the Fever fan base, I'm not here to win you over, deal with it. Now, you might be thinking, okay, maybe she's just standing up for her beliefs. But here's the problem. Turner isn't just speaking out on social issues, she's dismissing the very people who buy the tickets, wear the jerseys, and fill up Gainbridge Fieldhouse to watch the Fever play. This isn't about politics, it's about respect. And Turner made it clear that winning over this fan base isn't exactly at the top of her list.
That is the one thing where I'm like, that's the one direct thing with Caitlin Clark. But she has essentially, like, not shown to be necessarily fully anti-Caitlin Clark, but she was definitely in the group of players that you will say you could brand as saying anti-Caitlin Clark stuff.
And Fever fans? They're not having any of it. They're calling for Turner to be cut before she even steps onto the court. All the excitement about her defensive skills? Gone. Now the conversation is all about why she's even here. But it gets even crazier. Turner isn't just standing firm, she's escalating things. More tweets, more defiance. It's like she's throwing gasoline on a fire that's already threatening to burn down her reputation in Indiana. She's giving off that take it or leave it vibe, but right now, Fever fans are leaning hard toward leave it.
Instead of her coming in wanting a winning mentality, now Joanna Bonner had said some things online too, but what Brianna Turner just did is just completely disrespected the fan base as a whole.
And this is no longer just Turner's problem, it's a full-blown Indiana Fever crisis. Picture the front office right now. After months of building this dream team around Caitlin Clark, watching ticket sales skyrocket, and positioning the franchise as the future of the WNBA, now they're watching their latest signing spiral into a PR nightmare.
Now, Brianna Turner is a different type of individual. Granted, she has defensive possibilities, and she's a great addition to have on a bench. But outside of that, she comes with a lot of baggage. Now, that baggage is now causing major concerns online, and people is demanding she be removed from this damn basketball team.
Do they back Turner and risk alienating their most passionate fans, or do they distance themselves and risk causing tension in the locker room? Let's be real, this is Caitlin Clark's team now. Every decision, every move, is going to be viewed through that lens. But here's the bigger issue. The Turner drama isn't just about one tweet or one player. It's about the entire dynamic within this team and how athletes today navigate the minefield of social media.
You didn't have no way to like mediate anything to where like, okay, guys, I know y'all feel this way about me. Let's meet somewhere in the middle. How can we move forward this? How can we move forward and past this? Want to know what DeWanda Bonner said? You can unfollow me. I'm not changing the way I feel.
Players aren't just athletes anymore, they're brands, they're influencers. They represent something bigger than themselves. When you put on that Fever jersey, you're not just joining a team, you're stepping into a community that's rallied behind Caitlin Clark as their hope for the future. Turner forgot that part. She came in acting like she was bigger than the team, bigger than the movement Clark is building.
Now, is that something you want to say when you're newly to a team and you know the fan base seriously do not like you? Is to unfollow me. I'm not changing the way I feel. That right there showed me you don't care about the fan.
Sure, Turner's not the first athlete to face backlash for speaking out, but here's the difference. The greats, the ones who last, they find a balance. They stand up for their beliefs, but they also build bridges with their fans. They earn respect both on and off the court. Turner, on the other hand, has chosen conflict. And while that might sound bold on Twitter, in the WNBA, it's a dangerous game. Because at the end of the day, basketball is bigger than any one player. It's about the fans in the stands, the community that lives and breathes this team, and the bond between them and their superstar. Right now, that superstar is Caitlin Clark, and Turner's already on the wrong side of history.
Now, these are the people that has to buy your tickets, watch the games, and pretty much cut your check. Now, I don't know how things was with you in Chicago. Maybe y'all was like manipulated, brainwashed, but y'all speaking out and saying things outside of basketball and sparking these race wars is the reason y'all in this position.
So, what happens next? That's the million-dollar question. Or, in Caitlin Clark's case, maybe a billion-dollar one. Does Brianna Turner keep digging herself deeper into Twitter trouble, standing firm as the most disliked player in Indiana before she's even stepped on the court? Does the Fever front office step in, play firefighter, and try to salvage this disaster? Or, let's be real, are they already quietly working on an exit plan? Let's not sugarcoat it, Turner is walking a tightrope over lava. The Fever's signing spree was meant to launch this team into contender status, surrounding Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and Lexi Hull with seasoned veterans like Natasha Howard, Dana Evans, Sophie Cunningham, and Sydney Coulson. That was a core that could challenge for championships for the next decade. Fever fans were dreaming of banners hanging in Gainbridge Fieldhouse. But now? Well, things look a lot more complicated.
It's our job then as coaches to continue to put them in positions to succeed, and our job as a franchise to put the pieces around them that will fill some of the gaps and fill some of the holes. And ultimately our goal is to win championships and to hang banners.
Instead, their social feeds are filled with Turner's defiance and clapbacks. And here's the real issue. Caitlin Clark isn't just a basketball player, she's a movement. She's the reason this team is selling out games before the season even starts. She's why ESPN and national media are setting up camp in Indiana. When Clark signed with Nike, it wasn't just a sneaker deal, it was the baton pass from the WNBA's past to its future. And Turner thought it was a good idea to take shots at that.
I know she knew, but we need to have some type of understanding. And we're not having an understanding when you're telling people to unfollow you. Granted, she can't take back what she said, but you don't come right here and slap the people in the face and say, you know what, I'm against this, that, this, and that. If you don't like it, unfollow.
Let's get real. If Turner's melting down over Twitter backlash, how's she going to handle real pressure? When Clark is dropping 30, Boston is dominating, and Turner misses another layup on national TV, how's she going to respond? What's she going to say when reporters ask why the defense collapsed and fans light up her mentions? Because in Indiana, this isn't just basketball anymore. This is Clark country.
She's already shown. She is going to let what people say on Twitter affect her. She is already clapping back at people on Twitter. What happened to protect the locker room? And by the way, I have no issue with tweets she said in the past. Clean slate. At the end of the day, if the locker room are cool with her, if her actions are not going to affect the locker room and she can block a couple of shots and play some defense, cool. That's all that matters. But she will always be the freaking fan villain.